Gentlemen, before a man loses his money, before he loses his mission, before he loses his masculinity, he loses his attention. In a world where women weaponize visibility and algorithms weaponize your instincts, the modern man is not defeated by violence or competition. He is defeated by distraction. So this episode is about the men who are going broke, not because Kenya is hard, not because opportunities are few, but because their eyes have been hijacked. And today, we're going to take those eyes back. So let's look at the attention economy and how men became the product. There was a time a few years ago when Andrew Kibe dropped a brutal observation. And Kibe said that a woman who does nothing but shake her butt outside a madhouse has 1 million followers, while Kibe, who at the time was posting content consistently, he was having 300,000 followers. Why? It is because modern men have become what Rollo Tomasi calls sexual attention serfs. They have traded masculine ambition for visual stimulation. You find a situation where a girl posts nothing but twerking videos with her mother and sister and their animals, cows and goats in the background. She looks more dignified and more focused than the men consuming the content. You see, the cows and the goats in the background, they don't even pay attention to her. But the men who are paying attention, they're the ones who look like Kinuthias. That's why we think that the cows are even more dignified. So imagine that. The goats have higher attention discipline than the modern man. You'll see that the cows and the goats are busy grazing while this woman is twerking. While you, instead of chasing your goals, you're watching her. And you wonder why so many men are broke. So let's look at the siren of modern femininity. And to understand this trap, you must study ancient wisdom. And I'll refer you to a story I mentioned in an earlier episode. In the Odyssey, Homer describes the siren's song, which was a sound that was so seductive that sailors would lose all rationality and crash their ships and die on the rocks. So modern twerkers, thirst trappers, and algorithm-fed sexual content, they play the exact same role, gentlemen. In Mating in Captivity, Esther Perel explains how human beings are neurologically wired to respond to erotic novelty. And in Sperm Wars, Robert Baker details how men's sexual instincts override logic instantly. So you are not weak. You're biologically coded to look. But your biology is now being used against you. Gentlemen, if you're enjoying this video, take a quick moment to like, subscribe, and share. When you subscribe, you'll always get notified when I drop new content. And when you like and share, you help this channel to grow. And more importantly, you help other men to discover the tools that they need to level up. Remember, when one man rises, we all rise. Now let's get back to the video. Odyssey has only survived because he plugged his ears with wax. Today, the wax is your discipline, gentlemen. Remember, the algorithm knows you better than you know yourself. When a man gives his attention to low-value content, even once, The algorithm marks him as low discipline, high libido, highly manipulable, and easily distracted. So from that moment, your phone becomes a weapon against your future. Every time you try to think, every time you try to learn, every time you try to build something, a new piece of soft porn pops up in your phone. It's because the algorithm concluded that you are a man who cannot control his eyes. So young men write to me a lot of times. I can't stop looking at women, sir. I can't stop jacking off to their photos. Sometimes I feel sympathy and sometimes I don't. I feel rage. Not because they are weak, but because they are being systematically weakened. A man who cannot control his eyes cannot control his life. Because attention is currency and women print it. In female-dominated digital environments, attention is a primary currency. If you look at social media, 99% of women, they post their bodies, they post their faces, they post thirst traps, and they sexualize dance videos. Those are the things they post. Not ideas, not skills, not content. Why? It's because, as John Twenge notes in IGEN, women rate their value through social validation metrics. That is likes, shares, and comments. They don't need to create value. They only need to attract attention. And guess who gives that attention freely? Broke men. If we banned miniskirts, cleavage parades, twerking content, and sexualized reels, who will fight harder against that? You'll be surprised. Not women. It will be men. Because they are addicted to the dopamine hit. OnlyFans right now is the most profitable online platform. It's because of thirsty men, thirsty beta orbiters, and broke men. So let's look at the cost of undisciplined eyes. Broke men, broken lives. Men are visual creatures. But when your eyes become your master, your life becomes your prison. Everything that you consume visually becomes an investment. Books pay dividends. Businesses pay dividends. Skill development pays dividends. Twerking videos pay nothing. In fact, they cost you. They cost you time. They cost you focus. They cost you energy. They cost you ambition. They cost you masculine hunger. They cost you willpower. They cost you discipline. A man's distraction follows his attention. A man's direction follows his attention. If your eyes point downward, toward lust, your life will follow. So what's the solution, gentlemen? The solution is you must become blind by choice. Odysseus survived the sirens. You can survive TikTok. And this is how you can do that. The first thing you have to do is you need to cut off the supply. And follow every woman who posts sexualized content. All these women who are going for liposuctions and BBLs, now that is a rage in Nairobi, and follow all of them. And if you are following them, you are a simp. The second thing you have to do, you need to starve the algorithm. Never pause, never replay, never engage those videos, those photos, because the algorithm is watching you. The third thing you have to do is replace trash with value. Your mind cannot hold two obsessions at once. Start chasing value, start building your skills, start following content that will help you to level up. The fourth thing you have to do is to use friction. Delete apps that make you weak. Install web blockers. Fifth thing you have to do, invest in masculine attention projects. Books, money, skills, and stoic discipline. Those are the things you should be focusing your attention on. Your attention is blood. Every drop must feed your mission. Don't forget that. So, anything you pay attention to must give you ROI, right? Return on investment, gentlemen. Your eyes are gateways. Whoever controls your eyes controls your life. Women understand attention economics better than men do. Algorithms understand your psychology better than you do. If you want to stop being broke, if you want to build anything meaningful, if you want power, money, clarity, ambition, become blind to everything that steals your attention without returning value. A man's attention must always have ROI. Anything that doesn't pay you back is debt. And debt destroys men. So I'd like to hear from you in the comment section below. What attention traps have been draining you? What are you committing to but are not able to deliver? What can you promise to cut out starting today? How will you implement the lessons from this episode? And what changes do you expect in your life once you reclaim your attention? Your story might wake another man up. So stay unplugged, stay focused, stay sovereign, get unplugged. And I'll see you on the next one.